Hey guys, this is Tyler here, and I'm here in Estonia. I'm going to talk about a quick topic here, and this is very relevant for anyone who's in the stock market who's into this area. It's all about, though, for anyone interested in what's happening with media in the States. We saw what happened, of course, recently in the stock market with Gamestop, Express, AMC, all these stocks. There was these stocks, basically they were being heavily shorted by institutional firms, investors, and then there was a flood of retail traders that decided to buy up all the stock, and the volume just went crazy high in the past week, 2 weeks. And we saw this move with GameStop, for example. It went from like $3 or $4 a share in the summer all the way up to like $400 to $500 presently. Just insane. Now, at the same time, we saw this was kind of due through a Reddit. It was a Reddit post that caused this huge flood of investors to get in on the stock, and it was, I think, pretty awesome what happened, because it's really going hard on at the people that actually need to taste their own medicine. It's going for the big sharks. These are hedge funds. These are institutional investment firms that where there's billions of dollars on the line. And I'm not going to go too in depth here how institutional trading works, but all I'll say is that often their practices, they screw over a lot of retail traders in many ways. I think in a sense it was kind of the reverse here. People kind of gave a taste of their medicine, and it was really cool. We saw other stocks of this nature, but GameStop was the biggest one. There's actually investment firms, this isn't confirmed, they could go under. There was that much short losses that we're talking billions of dollars in losses, and who knows, this stock could continue up to like $1,000. But the main ideal here isn't just on the stock. It's not on the technicals or any of this. I think it's about the impact of the media and about restriction of speech. Both Reddit, Discord was restricting people from engagement, and also we saw a list of brokers that were restricting these certain stocks from being traded. It was insane. Not all brokers, like my broker or Trade Zero, they did not restrict me. I could trade all of these stocks. Also, the fact that all the engagement, communication for a time on like Reddit, on Discord, in other platforms was being restricted. They turned it off. People weren't allowed to engage in correspondence and in discussions. And it really shows just the restriction of freedom of speech, and also the correlation between big finances, politics, and all other aspects of life. People often don't realize just how much institutional banking and investment is tied to political establishment, and in corporations it's the same thing. This is one of the major areas that politicians rely on. This is obviously how they keep these corrupt structures in place of countries, but there's clearly a push to restrict people from speech, and obviously when we see moves that are affecting like the billionaires, the oligarchs, the elites will do everything they can to suppress. They don't want this type of this happening. These guys can't take big losses that retail traders can take, and this is just how the game is played. But this could be a positive sign of times to come. It may not. There may be other platforms in the future, even if Reddit or Discord bars this. There could be other platforms that allow this communication to happen, so people can continue to do this type of thing. Now, also remember that in investments, in stock market, often what hurts one may benefit another. So there were probably institutional firms that they didn't have short interest. They have different strategies in the market, and they probably benefited, in fact, from what happened in the market. And that's something to know, that there was probably also firms that benefited. So I'm not going to say that, yeah, maybe in the future they could restrict how stocks are traded, that this can't happen. But I think the main thing is that the communication among people, and this is just one example, could be restricted in the future, maybe not, but that's all the more why we need alternative platforms so people can continue doing this. I think this is awesome. This is where we have to, I mean, you always have to go for the big sharks, the oligarchs. These are the people, obviously, that have the real power, and that's obviously why they didn't want to allow this to happen. But obviously it did happen, and a lot of both retail traders and other people, there were bigger investors that made a lot of money from what happened with GameStop, or who still have large positions. Like the CEO of GameStop, at his high point, or maybe currently, he was anywhere between $700 to $800 million. His stock has gone up from like a few million earlier this year that he had to this amount. It was a Bitcoin effect, basically. Incredible. So there was a good amount of people that did benefit from this move. But the main idea, as I said, it's not as much the stock move. It's about freedom to speak, freedom to engage in ideals, and to have correspondence. People have to be aware of this. And as I've said before, having platforms out there so this can continue to happen is more important than ever. So give me your feedback below, and thank you.